I was at well, I got to Sedona, and a goddess said, "Hey, you can come stay, rent a room for me in VOC." I got off the bus. I walked to her place. Uh, she didn't have Wi-Fi, so I walk out and I went down to the corner. I was going to look for a place to go broadcast, and another goddess or two hit me up, and they're like, "Hey, we got this place in West Sedona for the next 3 days. Why don't you come over here and broadcast?" And 30 minutes later, they pick me up. I go over there. So that night, I was on the back porch talking to one of them, and I heard this. I thought, like animal go through the back alley, but it moved so fast and it was so big. So I looked over and I looked at it and I could see what it was. So it was a guardian. Uh, he was checking things out. He said, "You're in alignment. Everything's cool." So then the last night I was there, which would have been, I guess, a week ago, Sunday, um, I was over at the Sedona Bar and Grill. You know where that is? And over by the chocolate tree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was staying on the street that the chocolate tree's on at a little retreat center or whatever, healing center that Karen Golden owns. So I'm walking down the street at, midnight and it's pitch dark. And all of a sudden I hear this, how a dog will run up on you or an animal run up on you, really a dog. And you can hear it, pounding on the pavement. And I mean, I could hear his breath, and then he got right up to me and then shot off to the left. And then about a week ago, I got the intel that he was telling me, I was here when you came and I'm here when you left. Your work's done for now. You'll be, I feel like there's more work to do there, but for the time being, that's where it stands. So it was interesting.
There's always more work to do here. But you have a flow. You have a
yeah, we have to
you have specific places you have to be.
Yeah. We do. We do. And I'm just now starting to become aware of that. A lot of people talk about grid work. I mean, Morgan's talked to me about it for years. It's funny because I was coming into Princeton, New Jersey with my brother Michael and Patton. And as we were coming in from the Goddess Gathering, we were like driving through town like, oh man, I know what I'm doing now. I know exactly what's happening. But yeah, so it's been an interesting last few days. There's a lot of new faces in the house. We've already got yeah, we're live. Let me double check the sound.
I'm going to go to Facebook so that I can share.
Yeah. Yeah, just go to my page and you can share.
Actually the first thing that popped up. Look at that.
Yeah. So there you go. Isn't that something? All right. So, and then we'll formally roll the show out just a second. Okay. Here. So we got 29 people already in the house. The sound is good.
Hello, beautiful beings. Sorry, I didn't realize I was live with you.
I do this to people all the time, but I find that the spontaneous is good. Thank you, Edith Ann.
It's better.
I'm going to just share this into the network real quick, and then we'll formally roll the show out, give people a little bit more time to come in because it was kind of short notice. And thank you for accommodating us.
Yeah. Well, it worked out, so.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Finally time.
Yeah. So I see some new faces out there. I also saw an interesting post or comment from somebody. It's probably a friend of yours, I think. And she was saying, "No way, this is a Timmy Guzik." She says, "No way, this is the second time I had a vision of a Soul Speaks 5D in the guest. I thought it was merely a casual thought, but now I'm watching it unfold." Oh, you answered that. So that's interesting. Hey, Demetrius, I see some new faces out there. We have not been consistent over the last few days because we covered the Thousand Goddess Gathering, and I've been in transit. I'm about to anchor in come Monday, and we're going to be hitting 3-4 shows again a day and just putting it out there. But I'm really honored today to have this goddess on with us. My name's Todd Medina. This is the Soulology Network. This is our primary show. It's called Soul Speaks 5D. This is our 616th episode. And so that's a 13. That's a good number. And today it's a conversation with our dear friend here. Susie, Susie Bieler. And I want to just give a little background on it for those of you who aren't familiar with her. Hello, Michael Abramson. She's a certified holistic health practitioner with the Spectrum Health Consulting. She's a channel for the divine. She assists her clients to discover and live their soul mission so that they can enjoy a deeply fulfilling life. She quickly accesses her clients' core issues and offers practical steps of transformation. She facilitates the release of emotional pain, teaches self-healing, so that her clients can create their lives from a place of true freedom, which is the mark of a true healer, teaching them how to do it themselves. She's a master of the healing arts, utilizing the modalities that best fit her clients' needs, such as Digital Deep Sound Healing.
I'll help you with that one. Didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo, holistic nutrition, spiritual guidance, lifestyle coaching, energy healing. After healing herself from chronic fatigue syndrome, adrenal burnout, she reprogrammed, rewired herself to live her own soul mission as a channel for the divine. She's the founder and lead facilitator at the Creation Temple, an online venue for supporting light workers in their ascension process. She lives in Sedona and enjoys nature, authenticity, and high vibrational food. That's beautiful. Welcome to the show, Susie. It's an honor to have you here.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing space with us today.
I love that this is 6/16.
Right?
My birthday is on the 16th, and you said it was a number 13, and that's the date of my awakening.
Oh, really?
So that's fun. I love those numbers.
Let me ask you, when did you awaken?
It was December 13th, 2004.
Well, December 13th is a big day for me, too. It's my little brother. It's my younger brother's birthday. It's also a day when I received a powerful transmission in 2016, when I was in the hills of Arkansas with about $250 in my pocket, and I got this call: you need to go to New York. So I walked through the snow at 3 in the morning and went to this little convenience store that was the bus station in Fort Smith, and jumped on a bus with $27 left over to go to New York City. And the rest is history. So December 13th. When
your traveling journey began?
Well, it really began 7 years ago, but this leg of it began on October the 13th. 13 is always a huge number for me. October the 13th, 2016. I left for the second part of a spirit walk that I haven't stopped since. But December 13th was I went from Houston to Arkansas, and then Arkansas to New York City, which was really when I started to I guess in the human terms, take big risk. So, but also to see the magic. So you woke up early, compared to most people that I've talked to, 600 plus shows. What was that like? I mean, a lot of people talk about they had the connection when they were younger, went into the 3D, and then something rocked them back up. Did you have like some traumatic events occur or anything like that?
Yeah. So I grew up Mennonite, which is part of the Christian religion. Yeah. And I was very sheltered, always had a very deep connection to God, to the divine. It was a spiritual connection. It wasn't just religion for me. But I had a lot of health issues. Since I was an infant, off and on, I had health issues. And the one that, the straw that broke the camel's back was chronic fatigue syndrome, adrenal burnout. And so I had done a lot of holistic modalities, seeking, trying to get help, trying to heal. And I think I actually tried to wake up when I was 14, but I just didn't have the proper support. I wasn't in the right environment that would have supported my awakening. So waited for 14 more years till I was 28. And I was on the acupuncture table when I had this just huge awakening. Everything changed, and I knew I no longer had CFS. It was done. It was just like every cell in my body was just like, done. I'm healed.
Wow.
It was pretty dramatic.
Wow. That is dramatic. That reminds me of Morgan. Morgan had back pain, like a lot of us did, where we stored all that stuff. And
Yeah, I had that one too.
Yeah, I did too for like 12 years. Of course, I didn't wake up. It took me a lot longer. But she was getting some type of treatment. And when the lady hit a certain place, I don't remember what it was, obviously some type of energy work, same thing happened to her. And she went into like a Buddha state for like 8 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's interesting that it occurred that way. So did you immediately start receiving like communications or transmissions, that type of thing?
Yeah, at the time I might not have called it that, but looking back, definitely. I consistently had acupuncture sessions, and during those sessions, I would travel. I would go places, and the way I interpret it now was I was picking up codes from all those different places to bring back here. And there were some places I went that were so beautiful, it was so painful to come back here. And I would literally come out of the session crying, like, no, I want to go back there. That's way better. But this reality sucks. It's hard. It's challenging. I don't like this one. You know. So I get it. I get how I'm a very deeply sensitive empath. So I get it when you know, people have a hard time dealing with this reality. Yeah. It's dense. Yeah. So I really understand that well.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you've you know, just evolved into just a wide myriad, you know, practitioner modalities, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. How did you get into the instrument that you blow through, the sound healing? I'm not going to try to pronounce it, although I love that instrument, and I actually have found you're the first person I ever talked to about it, but I've got like 3 videos on YouTube where I listen to the music of it. I didn't know that you did that until I saw you were doing that in Sedona over at the what was the name of that place? Synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Todd, you can just call it a didge.
A didge.
A didge.
Didgeridoo. It's Australian too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
I don't remember exactly my first exposure. I do have a memory of a gentleman named Harold Smith, who is from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. And he blew the instrument, he played the instrument like to our hearts. And I remember that. And then years later, there was something in my soul, it's just like, I have to be with this instrument. This is like, it's time. I have to be with this instrument. I have to learn how to play it. I have to be with it, you know? So I bought a cheap one and I started playing. And then I found a teacher and he helped me with my skill. But it was remarkable because it was like, I've been with this instrument before. I've played in other lifetimes. I've been an Aborigine. I've been with this instrument before. So it was fairly easy for me to pick up how to play it. And I can't really teach it either. People ask me if I'll teach them how to play. I'm like, I don't really know how to teach it. I just know that, you know, this instrument and I belong together.
Yeah. I was going to ask you too. You know, I have a friend of mine who I really have a lot of respect for. I don't listen to a lot of people. You know, I try to pull in everything on my own, other than the incredible help I've had from Morgan Lee over 3 years. Slap, wake up. But he told me that, because I've always identified with the indigenous, and I've actually always had this affinity for where she lives in South Australia. Like the minute I met her, I'm like, I was on the sand, I could smell it, I could see I described places to her. But he said, you know, your first life, you came in South Australia. Have you had have you had some type of connection to Australia, you know, from way back?
That was my first life, but I definitely have been there before.
Yeah. So you knew how to play it, and you can't teach anyone how to do it.
I mean, I try, but I haven't successfully taught anyone. But it's not my highest joy to do that, so I only spend my time on things that are my highest joy. Yeah. but I haven't had any success with anyone yet. But we haven't, I haven't like seriously taken a student or anything.
Yeah, that same thing goes with the way I dance. I danced on the streets for a couple of years when I first woke up, and people say, "Well, where do you learn how to dance like that?" I'm like, I don't know, but it's a very primitive kind of thing, Like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just hear the beat and go. But I think it has something to do with the primordial roots or indigenous roots.
Sure.
Now, this has just been, and I don't have to tell you because I see your post. I love your post too. I really didn't know you until a month ago, but I saw one today, and I meant to remember what it said, but I shared it. I shared it in Soulspeaks.
The energies are still pulsing, I think.
Yes, the energies are still pulsing. Be kind to yourself, something like that. And I love it because your message and some of the messages I saw since I left Sedona about 10 days ago, and I was able to do some surfing. I noticed that you're very down to earth. And so, a lot of people look at someone like you, been awake since 2004, has access to all these skills and abilities and memories and such, that you're just on it all the time, like you got this thing down. There's no issues. Nope. No, the human's not even a factor, What is it like this past year and even the past couple of months for you? What's it been like for you on a personal level? Are you still having to do a lot of inner work? How do you maintain your game? That type of thing.
Always the inner work, Todd. The reason why you might perceive that I'm on it is because this is my full-time job. This is all I do. My inner work, working with the energy. There is nothing else for me. This is my soul mission, my soul path. This is my greatest passion, my greatest joy. That's why maybe you perceive me that way. Inner work every day, 24/7. Yeah. Especially living in Sedona. I live by Thunder Mountain. I'm pointing because Thunder Mountain's that way. I live there is you don't get a break here. It's relentless.
Yeah.
I've lived here for almost 5 years now. And when I need a vacation, I leave. People come here for vacation, but when I need a vacation, I leave because it disconnects me from the energy here and the energy work that I do here. And so it's important for me sometimes to get to rejuvenate, recharge.
Yeah.
I'm normal like
that. Now I totally, that's what I meant. I knew that from what you were saying that you were doing that. And I think that's just such a, it seems so simple, but so much of, you don't see it so much anymore. But up until a few months ago, there was a lot of yogi, guru, cliche-ish type of speak coming out, and I think maybe that helped us all get to a certain point. But it seems to me it's this down to earth, kind of a veteran, seasoned light worker, multi-skilled, multi-ability, multi-connected, who still maintains this human element, which I believe is our strongest suit. So
we have to. We're here. We came here on planet Earth and took human form. We didn't take some galactic form. We didn't go to some other planet. We came here to planet Earth. That's our job this incarnation.
Yeah.
So my greatest challenge, Todd, one of my greatest challenges is actually staying grounded.
Yeah.
Because there's so much up here that wants to come through.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not balanced with my feet on the ground. So that's actually been my work lately. It's just grounded. Like this part now is flowing so easily and it's beautiful and I'm grateful. And yet if I want to be functional as a human being, I also have to stay grounded. So that's the biggest thing, one of the biggest things I've been working on. You asked me what it's been like the past couple months for me. It's been like that. How do I stay grounded consistently?
Consistently. Yeah, that's a great point. And one of the things I observe with our peers, our brothers and sisters is, so much of this stuff that's coming in and everybody's getting it more and more people are getting it. It's coming more frequently. It's coming in at a wider berth. Yeah. It's a lot, I'm seeing some people get rocked And I say that from the deepest humility because I respect the universe enough to know when you think you're on your game, it's always got another shoe to, or boot to kick you in the butt with. But it is a lot. And I think the grounding part of it is a very, very much a human conscious type of thing. I was driving down the road with my brother coming back from the goddess gathering, and we were in a very lighthearted mood. It was a very powerful experience. It affected me. I did a video and I got triggered on the video. I openly admit. And but anyway, he was saying, God, think of how incredible the human being is. I mean, the whole universe is looking at us and going, look, this species can actually contain every seed of the universe within them. I mean, we are the universal healers. We are the universal soldiers. And this is what excites me, is to see. That's right. That's right. So on that note, what does that look like for somebody who's been awake since 2004 to see the evolution of that, both on a personal level and now in the collective?
Oh, wow. This is the time we've been waiting for. This is what we've been wanting. What's happening now, it doesn't always look pretty, but this is what is needed for the shadow to come into the light, for the illumination to happen. So I'm excited. Now, on one hand, it's kind of more challenging because the work that I do with collective energy, it requires even more of me. But on another hand, it also enables me and gives me the opportunity to develop my mastery with the energy. So this is massive. This is why we've incarnated for this time.
Yeah. Yeah, it is exciting. It is massive. We were driving through these last few days, driving around the Northeast and just looking around going, wow, man, what's happening here, And my thing is, like, we were in Princeton a couple of nights ago, late at night at a bar and grill. We came out. Nobody was on the streets in this old colonial town. Nobody was there. The trees were like alive. The wind was alive. It was like, it was 5D. And we're both looking at each other. I'm going, what is this going to look like? What's going to happen here? I mean, what is this going to look like? I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it's up to us. What are we creating?
Yeah.
Well, I know my personal vision of what I want it to look like, but it's really up to all of us. What are we creating? When I say we're powerful, I'm talking about us as creators on this planet. That's who we are. That's who we came to be. This is what we came to do.
Yeah. So
what is it going to look like? Well, what do you want? What do you guys that are with us right now, what do you guys want? What are you creating?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And it's so crazy because it's the old saying, it's simple, but it's not easy. But it's looking at us right in the face. it's like, like you said, we're that powerful.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
It's not easy because we are reprogramming our personal energy, our DNA, our brains, our nervous systems. We're rewiring everything. We're reprogramming the collective matrix. So yeah, on one hand, it's simple, but it's not easy because we're maneuvering within this great density. This planet has more density than most beings here are used to.
Yeah.
And so that's why it feels so challenging, because we're not used to working in this amount of density.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling like this sucks, if you're feeling like, why is this so much work? It's because you're working with greater density than you're used to.
Yeah.
And it's all mission, and you're doing great. Keep going, please.
That's what I say. That's what I say. Somebody asked, and you, being that you're a very experienced practitioner and brought it up, somebody asked, I guess I know there's more than one way, but what would you say is the best way to stay grounded consistently?
I'll let you know. Figure it out. I do have a few things to say about that. One is staying hydrated.
Yeah.
One is staying hydrated because that allows the flow in your body the vibration of the water allows your being, your essence to flow within your human form, and then also to connect with Mother Earth, because she has a lot of water, and so we need that water element to connect. So staying hydrated is really important. Eating pure food, because that way you're not getting distractions from the programming and not, taking you out of your center. There's a lot of food that is programmed, GMO, pesticided, what have you. All of that programming, if you're not consciously working with undoing it, can really take you out of center. And then for me, my biggest thing, getting my bare feet on the dirt.
Yeah.
Whenever possible, as often as possible, when it's cold, when it's hot, whatever. I've hiked in snow before. I mean, just as much as possible, getting contact, your skin on the ground, lying on rocks, swimming in bodies of water, natural bodies of water, not swimming pools, bodies of water that are connected to Gaia's natural flow.
Yeah. And you mentioned too, which I would imagine if you've been in Sedona 5 years ago, you must have been called there. I'm sure you've been around a little bit. And you mentioned too about processing or serving the collective, or in whatever way you do that, grid work, whatever you, energetically. Do you specifically, are you specifically moved to do things like that, or is that pretty much done through your own personal transformation?
Both. A lot of the work energetically that I've been doing for the collective and for the planet since I've been in Sedona, a lot of that has been under my conscious awareness, but I can tell that I've been doing it because of fatigue, or because of just like feeling so much of the energy and feeling the collective energy and saying, is this mine? No, it's not mine. Why am I feeling it then? That kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
I've come to learn that. Yeah.
The personal transformation, and this is not just me, this is anybody. When we do our transformation work, when we integrate our shadow and we integrate our light, that's setting templates for everyone else to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why what's happening now is so exciting, is because those who have gone before us have set up enough templates, have created enough momentum that now we're really starting to ride the wave.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that there's no more work to do, that we just get to coast.
There
is a wave momentum that's happening now, for sure.
Well, I think this a lot of people wrote about the 20th, 21st, 22nd. The Goddess Gathering was on the 20th. And, it's so amazing because you go through these events such as that. And I'm sure you've been involved with a lot of gatherings, especially in Sedona. And it's like going through it is like beautiful. It's like powerful. It's like inspirational. And I don't think we realize, because I know afterwards there's like a drop. There's like your body has to kind of like process all that stuff, Is that right?
Yes. And what happens is the more you do that, you'll build a muscle for recalibration.
Yeah.
I'm getting faster and faster now with my ability to integrate the incoming energies. So
I agree with that.
That's available for all of us.
Yeah, I've been feeling that too. Now, I will have to say that today was the first day I woke up in the last 4 days. What's today, the 25th? Yeah, the last 4 days where it didn't take me an hour to get back to the planet. And like you said, I knew I was doing a lot of work because my body and my muscles, were so fatigued. And my head was just, cloudy. But it seemed like it's cleared a little bit today. But these last few days have been pretty special, I think. Do you think?
I'm trying to figure out how to answer this. So, because I know how it sounds. It sounds like I'm talking from my ego, maybe, but this is my actual experience. All the days are special. Like, I know what you're referring to in terms of energy spikes and energy peaks.
Yeah.
For me, I'm kind of experiencing that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm here in Sedona, when I leave Sedona, I don't experience it. So I know there's a difference. So have the past few days been any more like intense than other ones? For me, I haven't felt that.
Yeah.
I have felt a little bit, but not like a huge thing like a lot of people are talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I have integrated so much shadow.
Yeah.
So what I mean is, with all this light coming to the planet, it's illuminating the shadow. It's illuminating the collective shadow. It's illuminating the personal shadow. And this is from Prime Creator. This isn't from me. This is from the energy that I channel.
Yes.
Those who have been doing their inner work and who have integrated a lot of the shadow will not feel the energies as intensely, because what the energies are doing are triggering the shadow, bringing the shadow to our conscious awareness, bringing it to the surface for us to see, heal, and integrate.
Yeah.
So those who have integrated a lot of the shadow won't feel these huge spikes in energies unless there's one that brings forth the shadow that needs to be integrated.
Yeah.
So this particular one I haven't felt a huge thing with, but to be fair, there are ones that have come through where everyone's like flying high and excited, and I'm like doing the inner work because something's come up for me, you know?
Yeah. Well, I've been happy. Well, and for me, it's only really been going to sleep. Just going to sleep. And Lisa Brown talks about that in her journey, where for a couple of years she just slept all the time. She said, So I've been real pleased. I think it's been the last, what I would describe as the last 4 or 5 purges and surges, that the purges are done in lucid dreaming. It's very clear to me that's what's happening. It's very real when it's happening. When I wake up, I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my God, okay, well, I'd rather do it there than do it in the conscious walking around mode.
That's awesome.
Now, so someone like you, again, with such a wide array of experience, and all these years. I mean, you're talking almost 15 years. How much credence do you give to the collective stage? And I'm not talking about us, the 99%. I'm talking about I'm talking about the world stage. How much credence and how much focus and how much of your time you spend even thinking about that stuff, if any?
I want to just be clear on the question. You said you're not referring to the 99%?
Well, I'm not referring to like the collective. Like, we're talking about the collective going through energies and what people are going. I'm talking about, let's just say, the political, the religious, the news, so to speak. Okay. How much importance, how much credence do you give to what goes on out there in that regard?
I see it for what it is. So that means I give it very little of my energy because it doesn't need my energy, because it's unfolding the way it's unfolding, and it is a grand show, a grand mirror of the shadow being illuminated.
Yeah.
So there's, when you say credence, you mean like my time and energy?
Well, like just value, something that makes you think, something that says, oh, I need to take a stand on that, or that's affected me, or, some people don't look at it at all. Some people get really deep in it. Some people that are very prominent in the light worker communities, and I'm not going to name any names, and I'm not judging anybody. I'm just here trying to do what we always do, which is to create soul code exchanges and activations.
It is not my role to take a stand for one side or the other. It is my role to hold a sacred container of light and non-judgment for everyone. Am I perfect at that? No way. Still a work in progress. But that is my role. So I don't have conversations about Trump and if it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
That's not my role.
Yeah. Very good.
I don't have conversations about politics and being on one side or the other. That's not what I came here to do.
Yeah.
Some people have. Some people have come to take a sacred position that feels aligned with their hearts and their energy. And that's their role. And again, no judgment. We honor and respect what they choose.
Yeah.
That's not me. So I pay very little attention. I don't watch the news. Anything I hear about the news, it's like on Facebook or a friend tells me or something.
Yeah.
Because, and the reason is this, it is not because I have my head in the sand and don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. It is because my focus is 100% on my soul mission.
Yeah.
And most of what comes through the media is a distraction. And I do not need my energy to be engaged with distractive energy.
I agree.
My energy, it's mission, it's what I designate it for is for my soul mission.
Soul missions. I'm sure you got more than one. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
What's your you know, from your own space, your own center of the universe, what's your galactic connection? Do you have any specific galactic connections, connectivity, lineage, that type of thing that's important to you or that stands out?
I do, and before we go into it, I will also say that can be a distraction.
I agree.
Because I came here to be
high five. High five on that.
I came here to do the human thing, so they can support us.
Yeah.
But it's like astral travel. It's like, you know, soul regression, hypnosis, like all these things. Nothing wrong with it. I call it mind candy.
Yeah.
It's very fine balance. It can become a distraction when we begin to put our focus on that. Again, and that's not my role. There are people whose role is to bring forth the disclosure and to, you know, share about galactic races and educate us and all of that. And that's beautiful. For me personally, that could become a distraction. So that said, the beings that I feel like this heart space with are the Arcturians.
Yeah.
They're one of the groups with whom I've connected probably the most closely. They've come through my music. I make activator halos that they design and I put form to with my fingers, but they give me the designs. I had an Arcturian doctor that would come to me and help my physical body go through the transitions, you know, part of the ascension process, like tweak certain things in my body so that I can go through this transition on the planet.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful beings that I have experienced. Channeled Lord Arcturus maybe once or twice. He's been part of some healing work that I've done with clients. I have this, my friend calls it headgear. I have this this device, I don't know what you call it, on my head that can tune into different channels. And the Arcturians are the one that help set that up for me and help like tune it.
Yeah.
I used to have the little guys, like the ones that are like 4 feet tall, the little green guys. They would come in their little ship in my bedroom and hop out and like do the little adjustments while I'm like falling off to sleep, and then they, you know, hop in their ship and go off. And they're just so like, oh, I just want to hug them, you know?
I can see it on your head.
Yeah.
Actually, you're actually the second one, the second person. I saw one years ago. So she said to me, "Can you see that?" And I'm like, "Actually, I can't." I didn't know what it was, but it's actually exactly what you're describing. Well, it was almost like a little computer thing, like a like in other words, if she wanted to look something up, she just went like that. It came turned this way, and then kind of like positioned itself, and then she got the information.
Wow.
But it's probably one of your star family sisters or something.
For sure, I've spent time with them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I love the way you preface that, because at the end of the day, they're just stories. To me, past lives, we can call them galactics. All that stuff it's code. It's code opening up within us. And I know I got to one point where I was like, wait a minute, I'm a sovereign free soul. And that includes all of you out there. I love you, but I'm the one down here doing the work. Right. So, hashtag the human is the hero. Now, so you spend most of your time, I know you went on a little trip right when we were trying to connect in Sedona. You spend most of your time in Sedona. Do you get out much beyond that?
Get out of Sedona or out of my house?
I mean, yeah, I've been there too. I didn't leave my house for 3 years. So, but yeah, do you get out onto the grid, other parts of the grid, or do you just primarily work Sedona?
It seems that Sedona is like my home base for that sort of thing. I feel like maybe I'm going to be guided to some other places in the coming years. I know definitely Australia is one of the places that's calling me. But it feels like my most powerful work is here in Sedona.
Yeah. Yeah. I was, yeah.
This is the first place that I came to on the planet. It's the portal. The Sedona is the portal that I came through. So I think probably my roots are the strongest here. I don't know if that's the way to say it.
Yeah.
I know the grid here, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it very, very compelling and very, it never stopped. It was nonstop. I was there 4 or 5 weeks this last time, and it was just nonstop. I mean, it wasn't anything that rattled me. It was very energetically not exhausting, but I had to drink a lot of water. I had to get some rest. A lot of things happened. I saw a lot of things, and I look forward to getting back there.
Do you sleep, by the way?
Do I sleep?
Yeah.
Well, I just thought. Well, what's funny is the pattern has become, say go to sleep around. I might go to sleep around 12, and I wake up at 2:30, and then because one of my missions, or I think Divine Union's probably my primary mission, but it's Soulogy. So I get up and I'll post for 20 minutes, and then I go back to sleep. And I get up at 4:30 and post. Get up at 6:30, and then usually during the day, I'll take a couple of 15-minute to 45-minute naps, usually. But these last few days don't apply, because sometimes when these energies come in, I just know I got to lay down. I lay down, and there's been a lot of lucid dreaming and a lot of messages coming in that way. Which I don't have a problem with, because I don't have to like project or do anything like that, but yeah, I not really. Well, you can tell by my eyes right now, right?
Long story short, I don't really sleep.
Yeah, well, a lot of people I notice are the biological sleep patterns aren't applying. Now, where can people find you? Where can they find you? And can you just, I know I read it in the bio, but can you kind of go over what you're focusing on primarily with clients? I know you adapt it to their needs, because you're really what I would call an energy worker and reader. But can you just kind of give us a synopsis of what you do, what your passion is, and where we can find you?
My biggest passion is creationtemple.com. So www.creationtemple.com. And that is a membership website where people can join for free and watch the Prime Creator Challenge channelings a week before they're put on YouTube. And you could also become a master creator or a supreme creator, or levels in between, to access the content on the site. But the master creators and supreme creators, we meet every week online.
Wow.
And we do the shadow work, the light work, they get channeled information. We do meditations, DNA activations, you know, whatever's needed, because I have the pulse on, you know, what's happening right now. And so what is needed to go into the next week, you know, what's needed to process what happened this past week.
Yeah.
That's the support and the, you know, the personal information that comes through the channeling also for them. They get that support every week. That's my biggest passion, I guess you could say. Well, not my biggest passion, but it is high up there. Because the people that join that group where we meet every week, they're family. We quickly become family. Yeah. And it's a support system, because these times can be challenging and they can be chaotic, and it's like, oh, what's happening now? Susie, can we ask Prime Creator what's going on with this, and get the latest information, get the latest downloads, so they really have, they know what energy to work with. They know what's going on the planet. And so that's one of my biggest passions for sure. And then the other place you can find me is susiebieler.com, and that's SUSIEBEILER, susiebieler.com. And you can just take a look at my services there. There's one-on-one sessions that we can do in person here in Sedona or online via Zoom. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the retreats, because those are actually like really high on my passion list. I love, love, love facilitating retreats here in Sedona. This is a power spot, and so people come to the retreats for transformation. Yeah. They're not just, you know, oh, let's go to the spa and have a nice few days. Like, we're going to do the work, you know, we're going to do the work. Yes, the messages will come in, and your galactic connections may come in, and, you know, whatever is needed. But I create that safe and sacred container for several days for people to show up and really go deeper within themselves and within the group. And it's really, everyone is powerful. And I love that. I love facilitating the retreats.
Yeah, that sounds good. Now, your online community, do you guys meet on Zoom, or how do you do that?
Yeah, we meet on Zoom.
Wow. Yeah. So you get a pretty big room there. That's interesting. That's interesting.
It's a video, you know, a video connection, so we get to see each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we get to connect that way. It's pretty special.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in adding as many frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration. The more frequencies we have, the more powerful, the more connected we are. And that's really what Soulogy is. Just keep adding more frequencies, whether it's one digi song or, you know, or whatever. You just, well, whatever it is, the whole production, a part of the production, a meeting like that, a retreat. Yeah. I have really, really enjoyed talking to you. Coming out of this, coming out of these last few days. Well, for me, I've been in transit, and this is really what I love doing the most, or almost the most. How did you put that? One of my highest passions, but it's really been incredible. Martina just put up the site, creationtemple.com. But I would ask you to make, to please, for everybody, if you would make sure that in the comments you put up your sites, as well as your YouTube or any links that you have.
Okay.
And anything that you have that you would like to get out into the network, Soulogy network, just message it to me, whether it be after the show, these links, or anything you have coming up, because we've got a pretty strong network, and this is what it's all about, is putting people together, and then it's a platform for people like you. So
yeah, I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. And I just want to say, on behalf of everybody, thank you for your service to humanity. So many of you, many goddesses, have been doing this work for so long in anonymity, without notoriety. And I just want to say, on behalf of everybody, thank you, and all of your sisters and your brothers who've been out there doing it quietly. And it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Todd. Thank you for supporting the goddesses. Thank you for supporting the sacred masculine as well. That's just as important as the sacred feminine coming. We need to both, within ourselves and, you know, as men, as women, as non-gender, non-binary, whatever, we need to come together, the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine. This is the time for that. This is the time. So if you're a man, you can still work with the sacred feminine. If you're a woman, you can work with the sacred masculine. But this is the time for the merging and the uniting of the two. So thank you so much for the supportive work that you do, Todd. I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. It's my honor to serve you and those like you and to serve with you. And I really enjoyed it. Once I settle down here in the next few days, you know, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, we'll do this again.
Beautiful.
And if I can help you in any way, let me know. All right.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
All right. Peace out, everybody. I'm going to be jumping back on the horse here 2 or 3 more times today. We got to get back in the saddle. We'll see you later, Susie. I really enjoyed it.